What is up? What is up? What is up, everyone? How y'all doing tonight? Let me know if y'all can hear me clearly. Now, y'all know it's the holiday weekend, so y'all might hear some fireworks going off in the background. Because where I live, people are they're shooting fireworks and stuff like that. So y'all may hear some fireworks in the background. So please forgive that tonight. But it shouldn't be too loud. I got the gain turned down on my mic so it won't be too loud. So hopefully we'll be all good tonight. What's going on, Mario? What's going on? Also, if multiple SWAC schools moved up, what conference would you want them to join? Okay, cool. Y'all can hear me. All right, give me 1 second. Let me put all my graphics up here. Uh all right. All right, y'all. What's going on tonight? What's going on, Trey Mack? What's going on, King David? We got Vaughn in here tonight. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate y'all tuning in if y'all haven't subscribed yet. Man, there was a whole wildfire in my community because of some stupid fireworks. Yeah. Yeah, they get to popping them fireworks like crazy, man. JSU alumni for life. What's going on, King David? We got Jay Official 1 in here. Appreciate you tuning in. All right. So tonight we're gonna be talking about, all the news that's going on. You got all this conference realignment, and the question has been asked: what are HBCUs gonna do? What do you see HBCUs going in the future? Now, me personally, I know a lot of people are talking about FBS HBCUs, like some HBCUs going up to the FBS level. You have talks of FBS conferences being made, pretty much the SWAC moving up to the FBS level. Then you have some people saying that's unrealistic. We need to deal with the FCS. We need to make sure that we're doing right in the FCS first, and then worry about all the other stuff. But I want to see what y'all think about this. Me personally, I would like to see the SWAC go up to a FBS conference, to become an FBS conference. But I think the more realistic thing is that's going to probably happen. You're going to probably see some of these conferences go out the HBCU schools, because I'm not sure if everybody's going to be on board with moving up. I've heard that the SWAC has a strategic plan to move up to FBS, but are some of these schools going to be willing to wait that long? That's what I don't. That's what I'm not sure about, because I know schools like North Carolina A&T and Hampton, they're being aggressive. Like, they're aggressively trying to move up to LPS. So that stop that they're making in the CAA, that's just a stop. That's not the end all be all for them. They're using that as a springboard to the LBS conference. I mean, the LBS level. So you have some HBCUs that's going to be real aggressive with trying to move up. Then you have some, they're in a wait and see mode. But I want to know what y'all think. After this season, JSU would definitely be on an LBS conference radar. And then we get in talks of money. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know about the money and everything like that. But if the whole conference move up, I want to know the difference between them being an FBS conference and them being a FCS conference. What's the difference in the money? That's what I haven't been given a clear answer on. Like, what's going to be the difference if they reclassify? Okay, I know you're going to have 85 scholarships, but you don't have to give 85 scholarships, right? You know, you could still do similar to what you're doing now, but you're just doing it on the FBS level. But I know, to be on a level playing field of all the other FBS schools, you're going to want to use all your scholarships. But at the same time, how many out of conference games are you going to play against other FBS teams if the whole conference goes up? Lauren said the difference is the athletic budgets won't be able to support it. So what won't the athletic budgets be able to support, though? That's what I want to know. Because you're already traveling to Florida. You know, I'm saying if the whole conference moves up to FBS, and I hope Dr. Cavill is listening. I hope Ken is listening too, and they'll call in as well when I open up the lines, because I want some clear answers about that. Like, so if the whole conference moves up to the SWAC, I mean, well, the whole conference moves up to LBS. I'm sorry, the whole SWAC conference moves up to LBS. What will be the difference in the money? You're still going to be traveling to Bethune, to FAMU. You're still going to be traveling. Your travel expenses is still going to stay the same, other than scholarships. I want to know what's the difference. The conference doesn't even generate enough revenue to be a top FCS conference. I don't think the SWAC cares about being a top FCS conference, though. I mean, they made that clear by not being in the playoffs, not caring about the playoffs. I think that the SWAC, to me, has been operating as a separate entity. Like, I think if they do move up to the FBS level, they're gonna do it as they're gonna be like an independent conference, FBS conference. Yeah, they'll play some schools here and there, but they just want to be like bowl eligible so they can get that bowl money. That's what I would think. Top as in budget wise. Okay, I understand what you're saying. Top is in budget wise. Okay, yeah. Lauren said more coaches, more scholarships, more non-revenue sports. You can barely sustain where you at. All right, I'm gonna open up the phone lines because I want y'all to call in and give y'all opinions on this. Hold on just a second. Because I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know all the ins and outs of this, because I don't. But it's actually interesting to talk about this amongst people, because, you know, so many people are on different sides of this. So many people are like, yeah, we can do this. We can do it. Other people like, y'all are crazy. It's unrealistic. We'll never be on the FBS level. Quit all this talk. So I want to see what people have to say. So I'm gonna open up the phone lines. That's the number right there, 657-390-4814. Call, y'all can call in. And if you know a lot about this, you can enlighten us in the chat, and then even enlighten me. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know everything. As far as this conference realignment, all this movement, stuff like that, I don't know a lot about it, but I find it interesting. I would like to learn what it takes for a whole conference to move up. All right, hold on, we got a call. What's going on? Call you live. Talk to me.
Gabriel, how you doing tonight?
What's going on, Gabriel?
Hey, remember, it's probably a couple of weeks ago, Mr. Ford was on,
Yeah.
and we was having the same discussion about, the SWAC and HBCUs, moving up to the FBS, and it was talking about, the money, the budget.
Yeah.
It's so much greater than, it's feel like, take for instance, Alabama.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't
They
think
have a
see, hold up. Before you say that, I don't even think we need to be even talking about Alabama. Like, when we thinking about FBS, I think people are thinking about Power 5, and that's not the way I think when I'm thinking about FBS. When I think about FBS, I'm thinking about ULM. I'm thinking about, Coastal Carolina. You got the James Madison. I'm thinking about on that level, not on Clemson, Alabama.
I get you. Okay, I get you. Yeah, well, still, I guess we also too have to look at their budget. Look at how much they have to spend and stuff like that. Because once we feel like it's whack, and then everybody in the SWAC ain't not going to be able to go anyway.
Yeah.
So okay, so take man, they're probably going to take the biggest two, or three. So Jackson State going to be one of them. Probably FAMU or Southern, something like that. But the thing of it is this right here. As the SWAC, those schools have got to go and get their budget up. Their operating budget up. And now Jackson State facilities are getting better, but the school sports got to get their budget up. Whether they have to, go out and get some more sponsors, or whatnot. But right now, from what I understand, Jackson State is operating on like a $9 million budget per year.
Right.
School like ULM, I think they're somewhere in between like 15 to 20 million a year, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to get invited up, that money got to be right too. So that's what I understand. Like I said, you might want to get Mr. Ford on, to see what he got to say. But go ahead, what you were saying?
I think 15 million. That's I believe that's attainable for Jackson State, or a lot of the top, SWAC schools. Because think about it, you might have to go up $200 or $300 on the tuition. You might have to do that. I don't think that would be a big hit that the students would feel like that. I mean, it's $200 or $300 more, but I think, if you go, you find little ways like that to make more money, get sponsorships, get your alumni to donate more. Make campaigns, make campaigns for them to donate more.
And then on top of that, I know people are not going to want to do this neither, but your ticket sales, you have to go up on the ticket sales too.
Yeah.
I
think that's inevitable though. I think a lot of schools are going to be going up on ticket sales pretty soon. I mean, because you're gonna have to, because everything is going to go up. You got gas going up. That's going to make traveling more expensive for the schools.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to have to go up on tickets anyway.
And then you were talking about this. Scotty was talking about this. A whole lot of folks talk about this. The SWAC need to start their own streaming services. Put all their content. I guess it depended on what the contract is with ESPN, because nobody still knows exactly what they're getting paid. But I know this for certain though. ESPN don't show the halftime stuff. So Roland Martin was talking about this. So like I say, Jackson State or even the SWAC, get their SWAC channel going. Start showing the halftime content. Just throw everything in there outside of the game.
I've been wanting to SWAC. I've been wanting to SWAC to like try to get a deal with one of these streaming networks like Apple TV, Netflix, Hulu, or whatever. Like yesterday, there's this show that's coming on Apple TV, and they keep showing this commercial on Twitter. And I'm like, man, just imagine if that was a SWAC football game being marketed and advertised like that. You would have so many viewers. It would pique the interest of so many people to come watch the game. So we need something like that that's gonna advertise our games like that at that magnitude. Because I mean, every time I log into Twitter, I'm seeing this thing. That's the kind of promotion and advertisement that you need. So I would hope that if they can get out of this ESPN thing, they can talk to one of these big streaming giants and try to see what they'll do.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna get off because I'm pretty sure people want to call in.
Yeah, I got other calls.
Jackson State, the SWAC, especially the commissioner of the SWAC. Number one, they got to hire better people that can handle that, and the people that know what they're doing. If not, get you some outside talent. All right. And then what was I going to say?
Caller 202, you're next. Go ahead, Fish.
You know what? I lost my train of thought. I tell you what. Once I get it back, I'll probably call back a little bit later. But I'm staying tuned to what you're doing tonight, man. And we're gonna holler.
All right, thank you.
All right.
What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me.
Hey, this is Dre. I live in Charlotte. So,
What's going on, Dre?
I think first, I went to North Carolina A&T. I think the first thing where the SWAC schools got to understand is you got to be invited.
Yeah.
That's first and foremost. You just can't be like, oh, we all gonna go. It's almost like trying to get an NFL or NBA team. You can have the money, but they got to let you win. So you first got to be invited,
Well,
and
when
then it's
well
gonna come to the money.
when you trying to join a
And
conference, you have to be invited. They have to invite you when you're trying
right,
to join a
right.
conference.
So in the reality, all SWAC schools not gonna be invited.
That's true.
Now nobody don't want to hear that. No one wants to believe that, but that's the reality of it. So you first got to, because if they invite you, they'll make the numbers work.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you sit there and pay back something. So let's say, I forgot how much ANC had to pay to get out of the MEAC,
Yeah,
but
they can
let's
waive
say it
they
was
can
like a
waive a
mil.
fee if they want to.
Yeah,
They can waive an interest fee
they
or whatever if they
they
want
can
to.
waive it. They can sit there, and so if they want you, they will make it work. And then it's gonna come to the money. So UNC Charlotte just got their football team back less than 10 years ago, but they're backed by Belk, which is like a huge, legendary person. So, um, I think that is the first thing. They have to make themselves marketable to where a conference wants to, somebody like the Sun Belt, or I don't know where's ULM at, but one of them conferences, because the big thing is the bowl money. Like even like the Cheez It Bowl, I think the winner of that gets $6 million. So you imagine that's the difference with going FBS is, even take away the New Year's Eve bowls and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine what a SWAC school or HBCU could do with a $6 million payday
Yeah,
in 2 hours?
a lot. Do a
So
lot
it
with them.
is what, 30 something bowls.
Mm-hmm.
The Cheez It Bowl ain't even one of the main bowls.
Right.
So that's just if they choose you. So if you, and to me, I believe every school, every HBCU is going to have to weigh money. They're going to have to weigh tradition, which folks don't want to let that go. They're going to have to weigh business. They're going to have to put all that in and be like, okay, what's more important? You know, Staying and trying to bring our little brother up, because you don't know if little brother's going to be ready. Little brother, Southern might be ready now.
Yeah.
Somebody else, they may be like, yeah, I don't want to leave so and so. So and so may not be ready for another 10 years. But sometimes you got to take the opportunity while you can, and you got to leave folks behind. Like, we still play our rivals, North Carolina Central. We still play North Carolina Central. We still play South Carolina State.
Yeah. I seen y'all got like
But
4 or 5 HBCUs on y'all schedule
yeah,
still. So
because we're still, but we think different. Like I said, every HBCU is going to have to do what's best for them,
mm-hmm.
and you know because basically your commissioner is going to have to make it worth my while, make it worth me staying in the SWAC, make it worth me not going to a lower FBS, make it worth it,
Caller
and
601, you
and
next.
this is where leadership comes in.
Yeah. I got you, man.
You know, this is where your leadership comes in, because now you see what's going on in the MEAC. And the SWAC, if you know, probably I would imagine probably only like 5 schools probably got the money and the name to go. And to be truthful, the only 2 schools that I think handle business right enough that will probably go is probably FAMU and Jackson, and maybe Grambling. I think Southern's too much into tradition to handle business.
I think
You know what I'm saying?
I think Southern would do whatever Grambling does. Like, say for instance, if Grambling left the SWAC and went to another FCS conference or anything like that, I think Southern would follow Grambling. I think they kind of
thing
tied
is,
at the hip like that.
but they don't have to be. They can
Yeah.
still schedule Grambling. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If all of a sudden Southern gets the opportunity to move up, you can schedule Grambling every year.
Yeah.
We definitely left Central, and we schedule them every year. They are 45 minutes away. So
Right.
that's what I'm talking about, the business part.
All right.
You know, I need to have Grambling. Nah, we'll schedule them, and we'll make sure we schedule them.
Yeah. I got another call, so I'm gonna get them, but I appreciate you chiming in. Thank you for
Okay.
putting your 2 cents on the show. Appreciate it. All right, let me get this other caller. Like when I look at Southern Grambling, I look at them as Texas, Oklahoma, UCLA, USC. I think that those schools have those kind of relationships like that they probably want to follow each other. They probably want to go where the other school goes. But yeah, caller, you live.
Hello?
Hey, can you turn the background?
Hello?
Can you turn your background off for me?
Hello?
Can you turn your background off for me?
Okay, just a minute. Okay, let's talk.
Okay, what's going on?
My name is Bob Lewis
What's going on,
from
Bob?
Columbia, Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
The home of Walter, Eddie Payton, and Joe Raw, Joe Owens, 3 professional football players from Columbia. I'm really concerned about, we get a little success.
Yeah.
We want to, as B.B. King said, we make a move too soon. I think we're making our moves too soon, especially we're talking about once before about raising the prices of the tickets to Jackson State. I understand that it's too soon to start charging. You know how finicky black folks about their little money, but they'll spend it. But they're finicky about spending it.
Hey, we got to get our people out of that though. I
understand that.
I'm the type
the default.
Oh, go ahead.
The default of a lot of black businesses, if they start making little money, they start buying Mercedes and Gucci's and all this other stuff, and then the next you go there, they're broke. They've got a business. And I've seen this happen. I'm 80 years old, and I've seen this happen to black businesses for the last 70 years. And I want to let you know that I think they're making a move too soon. They need to wait to dig. But one little successful season doesn't make the whole future for the team. That success has to be success over a period of time. And then you get your financial base together. Then you make your move, not these premature moves that they are talking about. And thank you for your time, SWAC. Oh yeah, I want to tell you, I love your cohort there. Where's he at? I haven't heard from him today.
Yeah, he'll be on. He'll be on soon.
Okay, yeah, I love him, and I think the SWAC people over the SWAC should sort of listen to him. He makes some good things, good stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
And Mr. Ford is on the time. Man, I wish I was like him. He has a mind like a steel trap. He can go back further. I can follow him way back as he goes every time he talk about something. And thank you for your time, SWAC Buzz, and I appreciate your show, and keep up the good work.
All right, thank you. I agree with what he's saying, and I understand what he's saying, but I just hate when we get to saying stuff like, we gotta don't go up on the money and stuff. We start doing business. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I just feel like we as black people, we'll spend money on things that we want. We know how we got money to spend. We know how to create good businesses. We know how to do good business. And you have to pay if you want great business, you got to pay for it. So I don't know if JSU can't be competitive if they move. Oh, they probably it won't matter. So G-Dub, why wouldn't JSU be competitive if they moved? If they moved to a FBS conference, let's just say hypothetically, they moved to an FBS conference. they are getting top players now. If they're getting top players now, because the only reason why top players probably won't go to JSU now is because of the FCS thing. If you're in the FBS conference, they're probably gonna go to Jackson State, especially if Coach Prime is coaching there. They're already thinking about going now. Jackson State is already in these guys' top 5, top 5 schools that they're choosing from. So if they're on the FBS level, I think they would definitely come in bulk then. And so you'll be competitive after a few recruiting cycles. I don't understand why we feel like they're not going to be competitive. Mario said JSU don't have your typical SWAC players. Right, correct. Can Jackson State sustain after Dion leaves? Now that's a question to be seen. My thing is, do we think that he's gonna stay if y'all not trying to do something though? If the SWAC isn't trying to move up or something like that, I don't know if he's gonna want to. Because Dion strikes me as the kind of guy, he's always looking to elevate. He's always looking to go up. He's always looking for a different challenge. So I don't know if we can expect him to stay that long if we're just okay with staying where we're at. That's just my opinion. It's a matter of effort and making it happen. It's just not the best time with the FBS being unstable and all conferences realigning. Dion won't be here forever regardless. Coaches don't stay in place for more than 4 to 5 years anymore. Well, y'all call in. I want to hear y'all opinions, man, because this is a great conversation. Like I said, some of the older guys, y'all probably have more knowledge on this than a lot of us. So, it's definitely nice to hear y'all chime in about this. But it's a good conversation. And so I heard somebody say in here that North Carolina A&T made a bad move. Honestly, I don't believe they made a bad move, y'all. Because from what I got reading what their leadership was saying, they're looking at their CAA move as a springboard to become a FBS school. So that's what they're trying to do. So I can't be mad at them for that. They have a plan and they're sticking to it. Will they win? That remains to be seen. But there have been a lot of schools that moved from the FCS level to the FBS that were sorry. They didn't win any games. They was 5-7, 4-8. They was 4-7 and stuff like that. So they had bad records and then they still moved up. So winning isn't always a prerequisite to moving up. What happened under Comity was totally different than now. Prime has a much bigger vision and bigger goals. That's where Comity was lacking. I hope nobody leaves the SWAC. We got to move as a conference. But you have people that say, moving as a conference is unattainable. It's unrealistic. I can kind of see why people say that, because when you think about Valley and UAPB, are they going to be able to do any kind of movement realistically? JSU and Tennessee State will try to make that move FBS. Watch what I tell you. So we won't be able to move to FBS as a conference. They might take 4 or 5 of us at once, but not a conference. Everyone moving as a conference may not be ready to move. Yeah. Tomorrow Leader Sports Network. Make sure y'all go subscribe to him too. He does SWAC content. He's very good. Make sure y'all go subscribe to him too. We can't move as a conference. Valley don't have a field, and Alcorn can't afford trainers. If JSU moves up other sports up too, how competitive will other sports be? All the other sports are already D1 though. See, that's what a lot of people don't realize, that the basketball team, they're already D1, so they already play Division I basketball. So nothing would change. on their front. It's just the football that's on a different level, FCS and FBS. When you play basketball, if you D1, you D1. Like Texas Southern gonna go play Florida. You know, they beat Florida. They're gonna have those 7 or 8 games where they're playing other Division I schools out of conference, and then they're gonna start their SWAC play. That's what they do. So in baseball, basketball, D1 is D1. It's just football that has the different criteria. It's unrealistic right now for almost all schools, not just Valley and UAPB. Call up DLO and let's see why you think that. It's in prime contract regarding conference movement, right? Yeah, it's in his contract. He gets extra money if they move up. JSU, Graham, FAMU, and SU will all move up. I can't see no others. Have we proven that we can compete on FBS? Where's the evidence? Israel, see, I'm looking at these other schools that moved up from FCS to FBS. They weren't winning either. If y'all Google schools that moved up from FCS to FBS and you look at their record before they moved up, a lot of them had losing seasons. Pharaoh said, "Hey, I don't listen to the unrealistic. We got to move as a conference. It's possible if we build our conference up." I hate the I can't stuff. We can't, I can't. That makes me cringe. I feel like we need to be trying to figure out a way that we can do it. What is a way that we can do it? We have to talk about the requirements. So the requirements if you Google the requirements is that you have to have a 15,000 seat capacity stadium, which most schools in the SWAC have. You have to have at least 15,000 in attendance on a 2-year rolling period, which most schools in the SWAC have. And you have to have 16 sports. Now I know Jackson State has 18. Now I'm not sure about the other schools, but there's a few schools in the SWAC that meet those requirements. Now, as far as the money, that's totally different. You know, like they do feasibility studies and stuff like that to to see how they're gonna take care of the money tip. But as far as the requirements, a lot of the schools in the SWAC meet those basic requirements. Hold on, y'all. What's going on, caller? Talk to me.
This is Mr. Forward. How you doing?
What's going on, Mr. Ford?
Hey, I was just listening. First and foremost, I want to say congratulations to Bethune-Cookman for having the vision to move that game from Daytona Beach to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
That brings back a lot of memories for me.
Yeah, we got to talk about that too.
When I think I was 13. Was it 13? I was 12 or 13. My mother took me down to Jacksonville to the old Gator Bowl to see Bethune-Cookman and Albany State. Bethune-Cookman had a running back who was as good as Walter Payton or better. His name was Randy Sweetback Walker. And Albany State had a running back. His name was Lester Sherman. They called him the Albany Express.
Yeah.
Eventually, Lester was drafted by the Denver Broncos. Randy Sweetback Walker was drafted by the St. Louis Cardinals. But ultimately, he went to the Canadian Football League. And I can remember in the 80s going down to see Bethune-Cookman play Georgia Southern at the Gator Bowl. And Bethune-Cookman had a quarterback by the name of Bernard Hawk. He was out of Jacksonville, Florida, out of a high school called Ed White High School. And they also had a wide receiver who didn't get a lot of play that year. He was a senior because there was another senior in HBCU football at Mississippi Valley by the name of Jerry Rice. But that receiver at Bethune-Cookman, his name was Leon Gonzalez. He was eventually drafted by the Dallas Cowboys. I think he's had a very short career. But I just wanted to say that, but I still want to say to Reggie Theus and
Ms. Ford, let
the
me
people
answer.
down at Bethune-Cookman.
Let me answer
Yeah,
this
come
guy's
on.
question real quick. Jeremiah said, I thought JSU had 14 sports. So they separate the men's and the women's sports. So like men's basketball, women's basketball, that's 2 sports. That's how they count that. But go ahead, Ms. Ford.
Yeah, that's what it is. I think if you're gonna be now, are y'all still talking about the FBS and now in Division I, I think you're supposed to have 16 sports.
Yeah.
Because we're under Title IX, so if you got this many scholarships going to men, you got to also try to compensate and have the same amount going to women. So usually, if you're a Division I program, you're going to have about at least 16 sports. Okay, so yeah, because it's so important now that you have equal amount of scholarships going to the young men and the young girls. Now, we always know football is going to take up the majority of the scholarships. So that means that's why you have to have stuff like girls bowling, girls tennis, girls swimming, girls softball, because you got to kind of make them scholarships kind of even.
Yeah. So there's been, speculation or conversation saying that the commissioner of the SWAC has a strategic plan for the whole conference to move up to the FBS level in the future. Is that something that's realistic to you, or do you think that it's just
here's the thing. This is America. We're under capitalism. You can have all strategic plans you want. Like I told you once before, all of these SWAC schools need to start spending at least, I think the average amount of money spent on the FCS level is $16 million. Okay? Like Jackson, I think, spent $9.7 million. Jackson got to come up to $15 to $16 million. Southern got to come up to $15, $16 million. Alabama State got to come up to $15, $16 million. Don't matter about our strategic plan. It's still about the money. Now, for all of y'all that want to go to FBS, if you want to go to FBS, you need to have at least $66 million. Because the average amount spent in the FBS on the FBS level is $66 million. So if y'all want Jackson to go FBS, Jackson need to come up with $66 million. FAM, you need to come up with $66 million. Southern need to come up with $66 million. Grambling need to come up with $66 million. Okay? Now, let me just give y'all a little shocker. I'm not no big fan of the NCAA. I wish we could do like them Power 5 schools. And so, see, the Power 5 schools is getting ready to show Mark Emmert and the NCAA the damn dough. Okay? Because they sick and tired of them. All right? Now, the only reason a lot of y'all ain't mad with the NCAA because you don't know the history. You don't know that the NCAA has always catered to the top 25 or 30 white schools like the Alabamas, the Oklahomas, and Southern Cal. But
That's
every
true.
chance they got a chance to put a black school or HBCU on a probation or try to hurt their program, they did it. Because, see, initially, they didn't even want us. We had to join something called the NAIA because the NCAA didn't want nothing to do with no HBCU. So I'm going to say this again. I wish we was like the Power 5 where we could tell the NCAA where they can go. Okay, because I'm not a big fan on no NCAA. All right, so I just want to say that a little bit. Come on, what else you want to ask me?
So as far as mergers, what do you think about the MEAC and
I've always said, listen, let me tell you this. I've said this over and over. I would like to see the CIAA, the SIAC. We really need this. Cause let me tell you something. That MEAC, the MEAC leadership, that's like the blind leading the blind. If these other black conferences don't reach out and help the MEAC gonna go over the cliff. Cause I'm sorry, what's that lady's name? Miss Sonja Steele? What's the commissioner's name? What's the commissioner's name of the MEAC? Isn't it Miss Sonja Steele?
I can't remember my name.
Oh, I'm so disappointed in them. They act like they don't know what to do on nothing.
Now you know
if these other black conferences don't reach out and help the MEAC is going to be a thing of the past. We ain't going because they in bad shape. So
yeah,
once again, let
Sonja
me tell you
Steele,
this: I
that's her
want
name.
the
Sonja Steele.
CIAA, the MEAC, the SIAC, and the SWAC. I want them to combine. What I want them to do is go back and study the merger of the AFL and the NFL in 1970 and 1971. Now I'm getting ready to tell y'all something that a lot of you ain't gonna understand. But see what we got to do, we got to have divisions. Just like the NFL got them divisions. And schools like Southern and Grambling, they got to play twice a year. Alabama, Jackson State and Alcorn got to play twice a year. Alabama State and Alabama A&M got to play twice a year. Bethune-Cookman and Florida A&M got to play twice a year. The model is the way that they merged the NFL and the AFL in 1971. We got to study that. But I know this is going to be over some of people's head.
Yeah, you
but
can't add them in the game.
Because of this study, you got to understand America is getting ready to go into a depression. We're getting ready to be a country of nothing but shortages. And so instead of just having Grambling and Jackson and Alcorn playing one time, they're going to play two times during the season.
So I think the issue with that is probably going to be the amount of games because, you know, these are college students, so they're not going to have them play like an NFL schedule where you got 17 games.
What you would do, you would have 11 or 12 games, but it would be like being in the NFL. You would, like I said, you got to be in divisions. You would have a home and a home with people in your division. It'll be like Atlanta and the New Orleans Saints. You know, they in the NFC South, and you play one game at New Orleans home, one game in Atlanta. You play home and home. We're going to have to look at that because I'm telling you, I don't know why a lot of you don't understand this, but America's economy is getting ready to bottom out. It's getting ready to tank out, whether we want to accept it or not. That's what's getting ready to happen, okay? And so we got to look at that model of how they merge the NFL and the AFL, go to those divisions. And once again, we got to, when we break down in the division, we can do this under Dr. Charles McClellan, because to me, of all of them black HBCU conferences, the best leadership, the most aggressive leadership, the leadership that does data and all of that and goes by the research is Dr. Charles McClellan and that crew he has in the SWAC. But we got to look at that. Now, I know a lot of y'all ain't going to understand that, but
now,
let me tell you something. Just keep living.
I like it. I like it.
This economy is getting ready to tank.
I like it, but I just think about the number of games it's going to take, because so if you're going to do that, you're going to take away a lot of games being played from other teams in the SWAC. So say for instance, now I can see.
Well, the main thing would be the teams in your division. Yeah. See, like one division, you would have like the this over here on this side, you would have the Eastern Division, you would have the Florida A&Ms, Bethune-Cookmans, the South Carolina States, Alabama State, Alabama A&M. Those schools right there would play each other twice. Okay, on your side, you would have Jackson, Alcorn, Southern, Grambling, Texas Southern, Prairie View. Those schools on that side would play each other. You would have a home and a home. You see what I'm saying? You would have a east side and a west side, but you would play the teams in your division twice.
I have to see it down on paper to kind of realize it.
Like, we got to put. That's what I'm saying. And see, the only somebody that would do that would be Dr. McClellan, because I'm telling y'all, and I'm not trying to be funny. If we don't reach out and help them people in the MEAC, they going off the cliff, and we need them. See, y'all see one thing. A lot of us, we look at everything individually. We don't look at things as a nation.
Yeah.
Nobody desires us. Don't think that all them people like that. You know, y'all talking about the this conference here. The what's the one name? I just heard that young man talking about the CAA and the Southland Conference. They don't give a damn about no HBCU schools. Now, if they can make money off you, if you can be a slave for them like we've always been, yeah, they'll take you. But as far as like truly being concerned, man, please. We got to look out for each other. Instead of looking at everything, like somebody said, we got to look out for ourselves individually. We don't make it like that. We are group-oriented people. We are our brother's keeper. Please remember, we all, listen, when we came over here, we was all under the bottom of the boat, okay? And they've always treated us all the same. I don't care how much money you got, how much education you got, how big your house is, and what you a member of and all of that. When they look at you, they still see that N word. Yeah. Always remember that now.
All right, so
but anyway,
well, Mr. Ford, so you'll have some people that'll push back on that and say, hey, we can't keep having that mentality. Like, I'm pretty sure North Carolina A&T people and Hampton people are thinking like this. We can't.
Let me say this.
Miss Ford, let me finish my point.
Okay.
They're probably thinking, okay, we can't keep living with that kind of logic, thinking like that. We have to think about ourselves and progress. Like, so they're looking at that CAA move as a step into the direction of going to a FBS conference, because they're not thinking about they're not thinking about staying with HBCUs. They're thinking about being on the level of, you know, of I guess the Conference USA, ULM, these schools like that. They're trying to go that way. So they'll push back on what you're saying that's that old mentality that's going to keep us stuck where we are.
Well, let me say this. I think the Hampton University competed in the Big South, 2 years or 3 years? Go back and look at their record. What was their record in the 2 or 3 years football-wise in that conference? Okay, North Carolina A&T played their first year in the Big South. All right, I think they had a losing season altogether, right?
Well, what if they
look
win?
At what their record was? What was their record last year? What was their record at in the Big South last year? Do you remember?
I'm not
It was a losing record, I know, but do you know what it was?
I'm not sure, Mr. Ford. But what if they win though? Let's say what if they win? Because a lot of
that's hypothetical. Listen, that's hypothetical. We got to see them do it. Because let me tell you something, and I'm gonna say this over again. Hampton and North Carolina A&T, by joining the CAA, they are over their heads. They ain't gonna win in nothing. They ain't gonna win in football. They ain't gonna win in girls basketball. They ain't gonna win in men's basketball. And they definitely ain't gonna win in baseball. They just gonna be a part of the CAA. Because you know why? They ain't got enough money. I just told you. If you're gonna go, first of all, I think A&T does spend about $16 million, which is the average in FCS. Okay. Now somebody called in there to say that they're gonna go from the CAA.
Call it 601. I'm gonna get to you next.
They better come up with $66 million then, because it's about the money. Come up with the money. You can have all the strategic plans and all of these goals, but baby, let me tell you, when it comes to sports, you got to have the money. So if they you going up there, you're gonna be playing Delaware. Delaware spending like $45 million. You say you're gonna play Villanova in football. Villanova spending $58 million. You spend A&T spending 16, Hampton spending 15. You out your league. That's just like me on the little meager salary I make trying to stick up with Tyler Perry. Okay, I'm
George
making a few thousand. He's making millions, almost billion, but I'm trying to keep up with him. How much sense do that make?
Now I've seen CAA, forecast, and they're forecasting A&T to be one of the competitive teams in the conference this year, and that's their own media saying that. So,
well, you talking about the Big South? You talking about the Big South, right?
No, you
talking about the Big South because they're going to play Big South this year.
Okay, yeah, that's the Big South then.
Yeah. Okay. The reason they doing that is because the big dogs in the Big South have all fled. Okay. Kennesaw State fled. I think they went A-Sun. The school out of Jersey, the Mammoth, I think they gone. Because they should do well in there, but I'm waiting to see because a lot of the big dogs, the really competitive football programs in that Big South, they left.
Yeah,
they gone.
Let me get another call on,
A&T,
Mr. Ford.
okay.
Hold on for me, Mr.
Go
Ford.
on.
All right.
Okay.
What's going on? Call you live. Talk to me.
Yes, Mr. Ford, I wanted to ask him if Jackson and Alcorn are going to play twice, who would Valley play?
Same thing. You would have Valley in that on that side over there too. Now, like I said, it would on this side over here, you would have the South Carolina State, the FAM. You would have Alabama State, Alabama A&M. Those people would play each other twice. Valley would play Jackson twice. They would play Alcorn twice. It would be just like the NFL. You know how they do the divisions in the NFL?
Wouldn't that? Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but wouldn't that be too many games?
No, but what you do is you make sure you play your in game division games. Then that will determine how many games you have. Now, if you're gonna play, say, if Jackson played Alcorn twice, that's 2 games. They play Southern twice, that's 4. Grambling twice, that's 6.
So you only got 5 more games after that because you only got 11 game season.
That's what I'm saying. But the most important thing would be the people you play in your division. You got to play the people in your division twice. Like I said, it would be the same as the NFL, the way they do it in the NFL. What that does, that cuts down on travel. Because I'm telling you.
What you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I see the reason for that. But to me, the only thing that don't make sense to me is the number of games you're going to have to play. And then will it prevent you from playing somebody in the other division that's a rival? Because if you play everybody twice in your division, it's about 5 teams? Well,
Yeah.
4 other teams besides us in our division. So that's
so what I think. Let me say this. So what I think is will work is a pod system where you have 3 teams that you play automatically every year. You're gonna play them every year. Then the rest of the teams in the conference on your schedule, you pay them on a 2-year rolling basis. So that's probably what the SEC is about to do.
The ACC is saying they're gonna do.
That's
but
what the ACC
I would rather do the NFL way. Personally, I think that the NFL way is the best way. I think it would just like we got this NFC South, we would have it just like the NFC South. So Atlanta has to play New Orleans twice. They got to play the Carolina Panthers twice. They have to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers twice. I like the NFL's way better.
Yeah, but they play 17 games.
What you just said, SWAC, that's what the ACC said they're going to do next year.
Yeah.
What you just talked about.
Yeah, see, I think the problem with the NFL system, you play 17 games. You could do that when you play 17 games.
So we can't play 17 games. On the college level, you're talking about maybe 11 to 12 games regular season. Then maybe if we had that, if we had the SWAC championship, that's a game, and then the Celebration Bowl, that's a game. So you would be looking at maybe 10, 11. You would have to pick out whether you want a 10-game season, 11-game season, or a 12-game season. And then you would have your SWAC championship and then the Celebration Bowl.
Let me ask you this. Could you do that?
Hold on.
3 teams?
Hold on, sir. Hold on.
Okay.
Y'all, we ain't got but 53 likes and we got 157 people. What's going on? What y'all doing? Hit that like button, man. 53 likes. Y'all pimping me? What y'all doing? Come on, man. All right, y'all go ahead.
Hey, but just say if you took 3 of those teams and played them every other year, you play 3 teams twice, this year, and you won't play those same 3 teams twice until the year after next. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you play the division.
If we played Alcorn, Alabama State, Alabama A&M, and I'm just saying that because they on our side now. If we played them this year, and next year we would play Valley, Bethune-Cookman, and Florida A&M instead of those others. If we did it on a rotating basis like that, would that?
Yeah.
Could you do it like that?
I can see that, but the main thing is that the people in your division, you've got to do a home and a home with them. Like I said, I would like for it to be like like it's the NFL. You know how New Orleans has to play Atlanta, but they do one game in New Orleans. I would like to see them do it like that. Use the NFL model.
Okay. Well, I got another call. I'm gonna get to this other call.
I see where you're going, but it just seems like it's gonna be a lot of games to me.
Yeah.
Well, the main thing is that you play the games in your division, and then you will go outside of your division to complete your schedule. Like I think SWAC Buzz was saying, you would pick the people that you wanted to play that year. But here's the thing now. You got to play those teams in your division twice. You got to do it.
Okay.
It'd be just like you understand the NFL scheduling, right?
Yeah. I understand.
That's what I'm saying. We got to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Right. I'm gonna get to the next caller. Appreciate you calling.
We're gonna have to cut somebody off the other side.
Yeah.
Like right now, I'm a Jackson fan.
Yeah. I'm gonna get to the other caller. Appreciate you calling.
Okay.
Appreciate you calling, Mr. Bennett. Let me get to this other person. What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me. Caller 901. You're online. What's going on?
SWAC Buzz, how you doing, my brother?
Hey, what's going on?
Can you hear me? This is James Mohammed.
Oh yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. I agree with Mr. Ford. He right now, and this is a question that was brought up, and I hope Ms. Ford can hear me. That was brought up in an interview. That was brought up in an interview with I can't remember the brother's name, but he has a talk show and he's always interviewing Coach McNair. And a question came up about the traveling because with the fuel costs going up and everything's getting so expensive.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
And you talking about moving to the FBS now? That's going to cost tremendous amount of money because a lot of these schools you just can't jump on the bus and ride a few 2 or 3 hours. You have to catch a flight.
Right.
Then you have to pay for food. You got to pay for hotel room. So if I look at Alcorn's schedule, my son plays at Alcorn. Alcorn was smart this year. I think all their games were within Louisiana and Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I think the farthest they're going is to it's a Tulane? Yeah, Tulane and McNeese. I think a Tulane is in New Orleans, which is 3 hours, 3.5 hours, something like that. I'm not sure. I'm from Memphis, so I'm not sure how far that is from Alcorn. I think it's 3.5 hour drive. Mississippi Valley, Jackson State, all those are within the facilities right there. What an hour and a half, 2 hour drive.
Yeah.
So that's so it's going to come down to. I'm sorry, Spike, bro. Go ahead, bro.
Well, be mindful. We do have Bethune-Cookman and FAMU in the conference now. Then we have Prairie View and Texas Southern. So we're having to travel anyway.
That's true.
You got Jackson State having to go to Houston and to Jacksonville this year.
Right.
Yeah.
But how long? But what would be the cost of we're looking at that now as fuel increases and it's going to increase.
Yeah, it's going to increase.
The hotel, it's going to already telling us it's going to increase. So whether we like it or not, it's going to increase. So I'm just trying to figure out at some point because the question was asked, what are we going to do and how will we be able to handle that cost for traveling? I'm just raising the question because it was brought up and nobody's really answered the question. Everybody's like, well, we're hoping we'll be able to deal with it when it gets here. You know, but one thing about Coach McNair, he kept everything within proximity, everything in that small area. And this is the second year they're playing Stephen F. Austin, but he never traveled to Texas to play Stephen F. Austin. Stephen F. Austin always comes to Alcorn.
Yeah. I mean, like
So,
somebody said in the comments, JSU going to Miami. They going to Miami. They going to Jacksonville. They going to Houston. They going to Daytona Beach. They're going to they're going to Jacksonville instead of Daytona Beach. But they're going to Miami. They're going to Houston. They're traveling. They're going to Mobile too. They're going to Mobile.
Okay, but now you got to keep in mind now. They just got
and Memphis.
They haven't gotten it yet. But they supposed to be getting $1 million from what PD? That's so that's going to help.
Yeah,
that's going to help. But are they going to be able to do that year in, year out?
Right. That's what I'm talking about.
That's all I'm saying. That's
what I'm talking about. And see, that's the adjustment. We got to make an adjustment economically. I'm telling you, the model should be like the NFL. See, now you would change it. Okay, Jackson wouldn't be on the side with FAMU. You would have FAMU, you would have Alabama State, Alabama A&M. By then, hopefully we could get South Carolina State. Okay, those schools would have to play each other twice. Then on the other side, you would have Mississippi Valley, Alcorn, Jackson, Southern, Grambling, Texas Southern. But those schools right there, they got to play each other twice. Grambling and Southern would have to do a home and home. They would have, I know it's the Bayou Classic, but they got to play each other twice. One wherever wherever Southern wants to play it, and then wherever Grambling wants to play it. But Southern and Grambling would have to play twice a year. It would be like the NFL.
It wouldn't increase the games no more than what 2 more games a year, because those 5 teams play each other. That's 10 games.
So you have
then you would pick 2 others. That's right.
Bad.
You're gonna
that ain't bad.
Yeah, and then you would pick 2 schools that you want to play other than that.
Right, because you would just play the outside of your division. You just play 1 game outside your division. You won't play those games twice, which you
I got a lot of other callers, so I'm gonna have to get some other callers on here. I appreciate you calling.
Okay.
Thank you for the call.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I got a lot of callers. Hold on. All right, call you live. Talk to me. Area code 832. You're next.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah. Hey.
Hey, how you doing? You live on the air.
I'm all right. How are you?
Doing good.
Hey, it's Andre from Chicago Heights, Illinois.
What's going on? What's going on, Andre?
Hey, I was looking at how he's trying to explain the NFL conference, and everybody is caught up in keeping the same amount of teams. Now, one thing is the SWAC is only 12 teams. It would work out better if they were 6 teams. And he's saying the NFL model. How the NFL is broken down is there are 4 teams in each division. Out of those 4 teams, you're only playing the other 3 twice, which is making you play 6 conference games, which leaves 5 non-conference games. It's a perfect model for what he's saying, but presently the SWAC as a whole doesn't have enough teams, because you have a lopsided number with 12. You'd have 3 conferences with 4 teams. So then how do you figure out a champion when you don't have an East and a West division or a North and a South division, where both of them would have, you'd have 8 on one side and 8 on the other.
If I was gonna do what y'all saying and try to make y'all plan feasible, I would do, you play 2 opponents twice a year. That'll be 4 games, and then you play 4 other SWAC teams, and then you have 3 out of conference games. That's how I would do it. Cause that'll be 11. That'll be 11 games right there.
I think if we wrote this down, it'd be easier to see. But what I'm saying is, and let's use a hypothetical. Let's just go with, and don't think about geographics for a moment. Let's take JSU, Alcorn, Mississippi Valley, and Southern. JSU will play Mississippi Valley, Alcorn, and Southern twice. And you have 4 teams in that conference. That will give you 6 conference games. Now you have 5 non-conference games to schedule whoever you want. Now you can throw in a FAMU, you can throw in a Texas Southern, you can throw in a Grambling, you can throw in whoever you want, another FCS team somewhere you want, but you still have 5 teams that you can schedule.
Okay, so
I like that. I can see that.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but a lot of people are gonna want to say those out of conference games for money games and things, because they're gonna want room for money games and stuff like that.
You have 5 of them. This is exactly what the NFL does. The NFL has 32 teams. I'm saying the SWAC needs 16 teams, and you can do the same thing. There'll be 8 in one division, 8 in the other division. That way, one division with 4 teams, one conference with 4 teams, and the other conference with 4 teams. You have 8 on this side. They will play all of their conference games. Whoever's the conference winner, they will play for the championship in their division. The other division will do the same thing. At the end, they will come together to play for the SWAC or whatever championship. Then whoever else has a conference, you'll go to the Celebration Bowl with whoever's determined out of that 16 teams.
I see what you're saying.
You're doing the exact same thing the NFL is doing, but you just have half the amount of teams.
I see what you're saying.
Right.
I see what you're saying, but I'm telling you, the backlash is gonna be if those two teams that you playing twice a year are sorry. You're gonna have some people in the SWAC that's gonna be like, y'all ain't played nobody, because you only played if you play 2 or 3 other SWAC teams, and then you take a couple of money games, and those other 2 or 3 SWAC teams you play aren't that good. You didn't play the best teams in the SWAC. People are gonna say you don't deserve, to be in the championship. You're gonna have a lot of people doing a lot of pushback, because it's gonna be easy to breeze through a schedule if Alcorn is bad, Valley is bad, and Southern is bad. And then you got those 6 games. You just run through those 6 games like it's nothing. People are gonna complain about that.
I understand that reasoning, but where I'm gonna go with this is you still have to win your conference, you still have to win your division, then you still have to win. You still have to win out of your 4. You're still gonna have to win out of the 8. Then out of that 8, you're playing for the championship to be represented. The SWAC, the only thing I'm saying is if the SWAC has 4 more teams, you still have to win 3 times to be the best out of the SWAC. Spread out your powerhouses so the cream will rise to the top. Don't pile all of your best schools in the same conference.
All right, I got you. Let
me say this. All those years that Southern was beating
thanks for the call.
Jackson State before Dion got there, did anybody complain? All those years that Jay Hobson and Fred McNair was beating up on Jackson before Dion got there, did anybody complain? No. What I'm saying is the schools that you would play twice are going to be your rivals. FAMU, Bethune, rivals, they play twice. Jackson State and Alcorn, rivals, they play twice. Jackson State and Southern, rivals, they play twice. Jackson State and Mississippi Valley, rivals, they play twice. Play your rivals twice.
All right, caller, you live on the air. How you doing? Hello? Caller 832.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah. So thank you for letting me on. I'm sorry about the fireworks.
It's all good.
But I was calling because I noticed that y'all were talking about like the SWAC moving up as the FBS conference and things of that nature. And so my thing is that, like what Mr. Ford was saying earlier about the budget, right? Like that is definitely the number one issue on why that's not possible underneath the NCAA tutelage, correct? Because they're the ones that are mainly helping to set these budgets about, okay, you having to spend 45 million, 50 million, 60 million to be able to be relevant. And that's even just matching up with schools like, for example, like New Mexico State and things in schools like that. Because for me personally, I can give you a background on myself. Like my first, because I went to North Carolina A&T, but my first year I went to Louisiana Tech, and I was a part of the football team at Louisiana Tech, where we was a part of the WAC conference, which is now a FCS conference. And so with so basically, you could say I've been a part of two schools that have been a part of two dissolved conferences almost, with the MEAC being where they are today, which is atrocious, correct? And with that being said, you know, Mr. Ford is correct about the budgetary standards and everything like that. And to even keep up with a ULM, you know, we're not really talking about the product on the field, because we know the product on the field, you know, speaks for itself. We can definitely keep up with them when it comes to product on the field, but it's the product that comes with the monetary gains, because what people don't know is that underneath the NCAA tutelage, you actually have to pay fees per year to be a part of FBS. That was the reason why SAMU failed in 2000. That was the reason why Tennessee State, they tried to make the jump and they failed, because not only could they not keep up with paying the yearly fees to be an FBS school, but you also have to pay to even move up. And then with that being said, it's like, okay, you're trying to do that for an entire conference when you have Mississippi Valley, who has the lowest spending budget out of all of college football outside of Division II. And some Division II schools spend more than them, like Delta State. Like, yeah, that's not possible underneath the NCAA tutelage. So, like what Mr. Ford was saying earlier about knowing the history about, you know, the SWAC and the MEAC, when they first started off, they was a part of NAIA, right?
So,
and that's another thing that we have to.
What fees are you What fees are you talking about?
Like, there are yearly fees that schools pay to stay at the status where they're at. That's the reason why Savannah State dropped, because they couldn't keep up with the yearly fees on top of the traveling fees, traveling to Delaware State, traveling to Morgan State, while also paying a fee to stay above water, to stay
Savannah State
at the FCS level. That's why they dropped down to Division II.
Savannah State is D2.
And that's
Savannah State. Savannah State is D2, right? The SWAC.
Now they are, but they were part of the MEAC. So when I was in the MEAC.
So what I'm saying?
No.
Hold on. What I'm saying is the SWAC and the MEAC, they're already D1. They're already D1.
Currently.
They are on the LCS level in football. Football is the only thing that's pretty much different. Basketball and all these other sports, it's just D1. It's Division 1.
Yeah, it's all D1. Yeah.
So when you're saying pay fees, I'm trying to figure out what you're talking about, because I can't. I'm trying to research now, and I don't see any fees that's different from FBS to FCS. I know when you're on the FBS level, you get 85 scholarships. You can pay up to 85 scholarships. Now that may be where they run into trouble with the money, because you're gonna have to have the money to fill 85 scholarships so you can be competitive with all the other FBS schools, because they're spending they're spending money on their 85 scholarships. You know, so that's where I can see the difference. But let's keep in mind the SWAC and MEAC are D1, because I think a lot of people get confused about that.
No. I understand the D1. Like I said, like I've played for Louisiana Tech. I went to North Carolina A&T. So, like, you know, I definitely understand the difference between FBS and FCS. And that's what I'm saying. It's like the fee that you have to pay to stay at that level per year, it's counted into their total spending budget. So for example, when Winston-Salem tried to make the jump from
It's another D2 school.
From the SIAC
It's another
to
D2
the MEAC.
school. It's another D2 school.
They have
CIAA. Winston-Salem was CIAA.
CIAA. I'm sorry.
You're talking about
Yes,
D2 schools in regards to,
and they dropped down. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're talking about D2 schools. You're talking about D2. You're talking about the SWAC and the MEAC like they're D2, and they're not.
No, I'm not. No, I know the Division I, but I'm saying that jump is equivalent. That the same jump that Winston-Salem made to the MEAC will be the same thing if you try to jump the entire SWAC to an FBS level. And that's another thing where I think, as a culture, like, we have to get this thing out of our head, because we have to know the value that we bring, and we have to know the value of our product. And the thing is that the NCAA, they're just 4 letters, like we have to think on the basis of, like what Mr. Ford was saying earlier tonight, like we have to really look into breaking off from the NCAA. And that should be our main focus, because that's where we can control everything. Without control, you're just a puppet.
Yeah.
So
I appreciate the call, but I got to get to some other callers. I appreciate the call.
All right.
Thank you for
Yes,
calling.
sir.
All right. Yeah, let me get these other people. Let me see. I think this one was first. All right, caller, you live. Talk to me. Try not to be too long for me. I got other callers, so try not to be too long. But go ahead.
I got you, Flatbush. This is Steve.
What's going on, Steve?
Good. With that $1 million that Puff Daddy's doing on HBCU game day, they said that was going to go for housing. And also, like Rattler Dad said, if we had to like one team like Jackson State or FAMU play the easiest team, that's like Green Bay, the NFC North. They only lost 3 games in the last 3 years. Thanks for taking my call.
All right, thank you for the call. Yeah, so what the other caller was getting, I'm pretty sure a lot of people were getting confused. He was talking about D2 schools making the jump to D1. Now, Jackson State and all these other SWAC and MEAC schools, they're already Division I. So I think he was getting those confused. But I got another call. Let me get this one. Hold on, y'all. What's going on, caller? You live. Talk to me.
Hey, what up, man? This is Jerome from Charlotte, representing Jackson State.
What's going on, Jerome?
Hey, all is well, man. So, a couple of quick things. I definitely agree with the previous caller when it comes to the cost. I know with Jackson State, our president, this is the 3rd year in a row that we have chosen not to raise tuition and fees on our students because we're definitely trying to keep the number of our students from going into, having that amount of student loan debt.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying to contribute our part by keeping fees as low, as minimal as possible. So I don't feel that putting that burden on students as far as increased student athletic fees is going to be the answer. If we actually want to move to the FBS, which I don't really see a lot of advantages in doing that, we're going to have to look at external funding because, that's what the big boys have been doing, not just the Power 5 schools, but also a lot of schools like South Alabama and Troy, and et cetera. They've got a lot of external funding. It's not coming from alumni. But number 2, I really feel like when it comes to the financial states of the SWAC, I really feel like adding the Florida schools was a huge mistake for a number of reasons. I know that Dennis Thomas, the previous commissioner of the MEAC, gets a lot of flack, but essentially he was, he inherited that mess and he tried his best to clean it up by adding, as the previous caller mentioned, Savannah State and Winston-Salem State to try to balance out some things. But the real issue with the MEAC was in the 80s. They never should have admitted
No.
Florida A&M, and
I gotta stop.
so
I gotta stop you there. So let's not talk about the 80s. Let's talk about right now. Why do you think adding FAMU was a bad idea?
I feel like adding Bethune-Cookman and FAMU was a bad idea financially because geographically they do not fit. I also feel like culturally they do not fit. When you're looking at their culture and their geography compared to the SWAC, the traditional SWAC, it's not a good fit. When you talk about travel, within the SWAC East, we definitely enjoyed only traveling to, let's say, our furthest game was Huntsville, and that's about 4 hours from Jackson. You're looking at Mississippi Valley, having to go to Huntsville. We all enjoyed those close proximity of drives. But now we're having to travel by plane all the way out to Daytona Beach. And I'm not talking about just football, because we got to remember we're a conference. So we're talking about volleyball and basketball, et cetera.
Let me ask you something. So you should understand what I'm talking about, the NFL model. If you're saying that FAMU and Bethune, so are you for the NFL model?
So, Mr. Ford, I agree with that, but here's what you got to understand as well. The SWAC is not just a football conference. We also have to take into account all of these other Olympic sports. Where,
I understand, but I'm just saying for the football. Yeah. So do you agree with me when I say that Alcorn and Jackson should play twice a year?
If we were to keep the Florida schools and to reduce costs, that is feasible.
Thank you.
But essentially, though, Mr. Ford, what do we do about the Florida schools that are still in the SWAC East, with Jackson and Valley and Alabama A&M having to travel all the way to Daytona, having to travel all the way to Tallahassee? It's not cost effective. And if we really look at it, it was a piss poor decision by the commissioner. I won't lie. FAMU has a great brand. But
yes, they do.
When you look at the SWAC commissioner's standings this year, FAMU's athletic department finished dead last. So why in the hell do we add them to our conference?
Because of the academics they bring to your conference and the history that they bring to your conference. Like I said, it would be made better
if we
go to the divisions and you play each school. You play your the schools close to you are in your division twice. That cuts down on travel that you were talking about.
But the thing is, okay, playing each other twice, that's great. But FAMU and Bethune are still going to have to play other SWAC schools. They just can't play each other.
Now, for FAMU and Bethune, FAMU would have to play, hypothetically, I think the South Carolina State would be brought in. They would play South Carolina home and home. They would play Alabama A&M home and home, Alabama State home and home, Bethune-Cookman home and home. Jackson State would play Mississippi Valley home and home, Alcorn home and home, Southern home and home, Grambling home and home.
That's eight games. There's 8 games against 3 teams, pretty much.
8 games against 3 teams. But so what do we do when cash-strapped Mississippi Valley, who we just had to help raise funds for a practice field, what do we do when it's time for them to have to travel all the way to Daytona Beach? Or what do we do when UAPB?
But they would only have to travel to But like Swipe Buzz said, they would rotate. They wouldn't go to Daytona Beach every year. They would go to Daytona Beach maybe once every 2 years or once every 3 years.
But
their main games would be,
but my point is, I think adding that extra burden on the SWAC, especially the
8 games against 14. My bad.
Really unnecessary. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Finish up your point. I'm gonna get to this other call after you're done. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, I just feel like overall, I don't really see a lot of benefit in going FBS because, as we all know, the real dollars are made in the Power 5 when it comes to those bowl games. Everything else at the FBS level, as far as bowls, it's equivalent to or less than the Celebration Bowl. I feel like if we just expand on what we have now and get rid of those Florida schools, we'll be all right.
All right. Appreciate the call. Thank you. Now, people are entitled to their opinion, even though I don't agree with some of the stuff that's being said tonight.
No, I didn't agree.
I don't agree with a lot of the stuff being said tonight on these calls, but everybody's entitled to their own opinion. They can call in and get their opinion. All right, let me get to this next caller. What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me.
Yeah, this is Lauren. I'm calling from Mississippi.
What's going on, Lauren?
So what I'm getting at here is this: is as the last caller saying, you need to break away from the NCAA. You wouldn't be able to survive if you broke away from the NCAA. You don't have the money to do that. This is what we have to take into account. Oregon deal with Nike. It's $88 million over a span of 11 years. That's the type of money these schools have. No one in the SWAC or MEAC is getting that kind of money from any of these, sponsors. No, we don't have enough corporate deals to do that. And for D2 schools making that jump, it's going to be a lot.
Let me stop you real quick. So what I hate is how we go to the tip top when we're making a example, like Oregon, Alabama, Clemson, LSU. That is not who we should be talking about. We shouldn't be talking about that. Those schools, they started off somewhere too. They didn't have all that money in back in the day. So those schools that have been in these positions over time have gotten all these deals, these endorsements and sponsors. They've gotten all these rich alumni donating money, NFL players building facilities and stuff on campus. They've had all this stuff for a certain period of time to build their brand up to have all that money. So we can't be thinking about schools like that. Like I said, if we're going to compare schools, we need to be comparing ourselves to trying to be like ULM or these other schools that's in the group of 5 that's not that rich, that don't have that big of an athletic budget. Those are the schools that we need to be comparing ourselves to. Go ahead.
Take into account. Just think of Louisiana Tech. Louisiana Tech, who built their stadium? It was a rich oil tycoon from Texas who put up the money for their football stadium. So we don't have anyone giving that type of money for. Just look at that, for a group of 5 schools to be getting oil money. That's a lot. No one is giving that type of money to these HBCUs. We simply cannot compete with those schools when it comes to terms of finance.
But their stadium is not the issue though. Like most of the SWAC teams, except probably I think Valley and probably UAPB, if I'm not mistaken, they are the only ones that don't have the stadium probably to make a jump to LBS. But
Alcorn doesn't have a stadium either.
Alcorn, hold up, yes, Alcorn do. What are you talking about?
Alcorn stadium holds like 13,000.
22.
Hold on,
22,000.
No.
22?
Alcorn seats 22,000.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Alcorn seats 22,000.
Yeah, and that's
when Jackson goes down there, they can pack in 33,000, and when Jackson goes to Alcorn, they pack in 30 and 33,000, but they seat 22.
Yeah.
Okay, so
and 15,000 is the limit. 15,000 is the limit now.
Okay, so
the minimum.
Okay, so we have to realize when Alcorn plays these other schools, what is the average attendance for them? Because I'm pretty sure they're not packing out a UAPB game or a Valley. I mean, you have to also look at in terms of Valley's geographical location. Valley is in one of the worst regions in America. The Delta is one of the poorest regions in America.
Okay.
Unabomber is almost a ghost town practically. So you have to think in that area, there's not a lot of tax revenue being generated. So Valley can't, be able to survive at the FBS level.
Well, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I mean,
no doubt about it. And it's not just Valley now. It's not just Valley.
Yeah, it's not just Valley.
Because remember, like I said, if you're gonna go FBS, you need to come up with at least $66 million annually, because that's what they spend in the FBS annually. It's $66 million. If you're gonna stay FCS, they spending $16 million, I think, annually.
Yeah, no school is generating that type of money, and the thing about it is you have to also look at these, big schools. They have license deals with these big shoe companies. That money alone helps them generate that money. If we could get some of those type of deals in the terms of licensing, giving them the ability to be able to license, have ownership of licenses and things of that nature, that could help generate money, but we're just getting like sponsor deals through team dealers, regardless.
Well, let me ask you something. What do you think about the NFL model? Like we said, Mississippi Valley playing Jackson twice a year in football, Mississippi Valley playing Alcorn twice, Mississippi Valley playing Southern twice, Mississippi Valley playing Grambling twice. What's your thoughts on that?
I think when it comes to the NFL model for that, so I don't think that'll work. I simply don't think that'll work. Because when it comes to terms of traveling, I get it, yes, the NFL model, but I mean, how, with the season starting a little bit, earlier than the rest, I mean, honestly.
But you made the point that Mississippi Valley doesn't have the money. Wouldn't that cut down on a lot of travel if they played Jackson twice, if they played Grambling twice, if they played Southern twice? Because you made a great point about the money that Mississippi Valley has. The NFL model saves them a lot of money. But you're saying that it wouldn't work.
It wouldn't work because eventually they're going to have to play other teams within the division. I mean, within the conference. So I feel like either way, if you go that model, they're going to end up having to play teams, a little bit further. So they may end up having to go to FAMU, or they may have to go to, let's say, Bethune-Cookman. They have to go. They have to travel.
But they wouldn't have to go every year, like we said, like SWAC Buzz said. With the model he gave, they would go to FAM every 3 years or every 2 years, or they would go to Bethune every 2 years or every 3 years. You see what I'm saying?
The thing is, it'll create an imbalance because you have to give that equal amount of playing in a certain location. It just can't be you go here and here. No, you have to be an equal balance of regards of traveling, because this is not pro sports. It's college we're talking about, so it's a little bit different.
I just pulled up ULM. Hold on. I just pulled up ULM schedule from last year. Now I'm going to go over every home game that they had. All right. Against Troy, they had 12,766 in attendance. Against Georgia State, they had 9,913 in attendance. Against Liberty, they had 11,546 in attendance. Against South Alabama, they had 11,723 in attendance. Against Arkansas State, they have 12,010 in attendance. And against Jackson State, the biggest home attendance that they had 21,720 against Jackson State. Jackson State was their biggest home attendance game. So this attendance stuff y'all talking about.
That's Jackson State. Jackson State has the fan base to travel. Mississippi Valley does not. It's high schools that are really getting more attendance than Mississippi Valley.
No, and guys, don't forget now, my point. In the Sun Belt, they call ULM the ghetto. They're the poorest school. They spend the least amount of money on athletics in the Sun Belt. They call the other schools in the Sun Belt called ULM the ghetto.
No, I just wanted to let them know that this is a Sun Belt conference school, FBS school that has this attendance. So all FBS schools not blowing, like having 40 and 50,000 in attendance. I just want y'all to see that. And then somebody said, hold on. What this person said in the comment? Hold on. What they say? He said, I got love for you, but it seems like you want to shortcut the process. What process am I shortcutting? What we're talking about is hypothetically speaking. What we're talking about. I'm not saying that I care about LBS school. Well, HBCUs becoming LBS schools. Like I'm definitively saying they're going to be an LBS school. No, that's not what I'm saying. I want to hear people's opinions on this. Do y'all think that Jackson State or these other schools in the SWAC can try to jump to LBS or what? I just want to hear opinions. I'm not saying definitively that's how I feel.
If you jump to LBS, you have to be able to sustain yourself. And let's just be real. None of the teams in the SWAC can just be able to realistically sustain themselves over a 5-year period in the FBS. You have to look in the terms of marketability, also geographical location. A lot of these schools are in the middle of nowhere. Valley is not in terms of a heavy populated area. Valley is in the middle of nowhere. Literally, when you see Valley, you don't see big buildings, you don't see businesses, you see cotton fields.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you see.
That's right. The Delta, yeah.
You don't, the Delta is not a heavy populated area. You have to look at just look at, for example, Mississippi State and Ole Miss. Look in the terms of where they're located. Ole Miss is able to draw fans from Tennessee. They're able to bring that type of fan base down. Memphis.
Yeah.
Mississippi State, in terms of where they're located, they're able to draw from Alabama as well.
Well, I think the people that's having this conversation, that is having these conversations, they already said Valley and UAPB probably wouldn't be able to go. Like from what the talk that I've been hearing on Twitter.
Me, like what I'm saying, Colin, your argument to me, you're saying that the NFL model is the best thing for Valley. I don't know if you want to accept that, but that's basically what you're saying. You're saying, what you're pointing out, like you said, it's not a city area, it's a rural area. Then
Call it
they
7 to 8,
should be
6.
in that
I'm gonna get to you
NFL
next.
model. They should play several of their opponents twice.
And I would say is this: if you go in regards to turning to moving up, if you want to move up to FBS, your conference has to have that marketability. You have to have the team to do so. And the thing is, you're going to have to cut some people. So you're going to have to cut Mississippi Valley, and you're going to have to cut UAPB. Now, in terms of that, now you can drop 2 teams. No, you're going to have to cut.
I disagree, Carl. No. By cutting Pine Bluff and cutting Mississippi Valley, that's like cutting a limb from your body. We all in this together. I totally disagree with you. I think that if we go with that NFL model, listen. Now I agree with you about the money. Like I said earlier, if we're gonna go FBS, then everybody needs to come up with $66 million annually on athletics. They need to spend $66 million. If we're gonna stay FCS, then everybody needs to have a budget of at least $16 million. Okay, but getting rid of Valley, getting rid of Pine Bluff, that's not going to help us. Matter of fact, if getting rid of them would hurt us.
Well, the thing about it is...
Go ahead and make your last point. I'm going to get to these other calls.
Somebody's going to have to get cut. Somebody's going to have to get cut. You're going to have to add...
I think that we need... more money needs to be raised, but as far as cutting, no. I think more money needs to be raised.
Valley is not a money generator. Valley's not a money generator. UAPB is not a money generator. They're not generating the funds. So that's the problem. When you can't generate that type of
make sure y'all hit the like button. Hit that like button, y'all. Go ahead, sir.
When they're not generating that type of money, you're going to have to replace them with somebody that can possibly do that. And the thing about this is you're going to have to cut those 2. Now, you're going to have to probably add 2 or 3 more. Now, this is my prediction for the future. And you may disagree with me, but I predict that Valley will move down to D2 if this current situation where they're not being able to generate that money, they're going to drop down. They're going to drop down to D2, and the SWAC will no longer be an HBCU only conference. They're going to add some PWIs in there.
No, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I disagree with you.
I tell you why they're going to do that. Because in terms of if you want to move up, the FBS, the NCAA is not going to let that happen. They're not just going to let a whole HBCU conference move up the FBS. So you're going to have the teams that also have a track record of winning. You're going to add teams that have a track record of success. And you know who's the top team that would be to add if you drop Valley or UAPB? You're going to have to add Delta State. You know why? Because they have 6 national championships in all sports.
In D2, though. But that's in D2.
But also look at this. Delta State they're over 500 against Jackson State and Valley together at the D2 level.
See, the thing is, I think we got to stop thinking that everything is predicated on winning. Because like I've told y'all, if you go look at those FCS schools that's moved up to FBS, they did not have winning records. Winning is not a prerequisite to moving up. It helps, just like Coastal Carolina. was dominating the FCS. They got their name hot, they got their school hot, and then they moved up. That helps, but there was a rare occasion. It's not a lot of Coastal Carolinas that moved up to the FBS. It's not a lot of schools like that. If you look at Liberty, they sucked before they went to LBS. What's the other school? It's a lot of other schools. I went through them, but I can't think of them now. But I know Liberty is one of them.
Liberty got over 70,000 students. Liberty is one of the largest universities in America.
Large university within itself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They got over 70,000 students.
But what I'm saying, I'm talking about the winning. I'm talking about winning. As far as winning, they wasn't winning before they moved up.
No. They made a commitment to sports. That's why they brought the guy from Hugh Freeze. You know, Hugh Freeze is up there and he's doing wonders up there at Liberty. But they made a commitment to athletics. They did it, and so did Coastal Carolina. Because actually, guys, you know, Coastal Carolina was a junior college. They diverted the money in South Carolina that was supposed to go to South Carolina State and gave it to Coastal Carolina. That's their story. They started out as a commuter school, where a place you would go take classes if you were on the beach and you were taking classes at University of South Carolina. The money was diverted that was supposed to go to South Carolina State was diverted to Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina only became a college, I think, in 1974.
Yeah, because I think they had a relationship with University of South Carolina. That's why their mascot is like a chicken or something.
School. It was a commuter school, and I think it was a junior college.
That's why their mascot is like a chicken to like show appreciation to South Carolina.
Yeah, the Chanticleer. Chanticleer.
Yeah. But you know, South Carolina is a Gamecock. They was like a satellite school for South Carolina or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. That was them. That's them.
And now look at them.
So, without a doubt.
But we also have to ask this question, because primarily our HBCUs are seen as academic schools. You have to ask, are they willing to make that commitment to sport, or are they just willing to stay solely academic? Where is the focus going to lie? Because you have to make sure you have a commitment. Most of them are committed towards academics.
You're absolutely correct. That's right. And it always starts with the president. It always starts with the president. Because that's what I keep telling people. That Larry Robertson guy down at FAMU, he's a problem. He's holding that university back. As far as athletics, he's holding them back because he don't give a damn about athletics.
You don't have
now at Jackson State, that President Hudson and A.D. Ashley Robertson.
Y'all, let's get to 150 likes.
Jackson State to have a national footprint. They want that school to have a national. I think the guy at Alabama State does too, and I believe the people at Alabama A&M. I know they wanted at Southern. Now I got to get to know more about this new Southern. Just hired a new president. We got to see where he's coming from.
Go ahead and finish your point, Lauren. So I got another call.
More than likely, they're not going to divert from being from academic to athletic.
Yeah, and I don't think Texas Southern is. I don't know anything about the president of Texas Southern, but I don't see her, because to me, it makes no sense that Texas Southern does not have a perennial winner.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate
it. With the money they got, you in the fourth largest city in America, and you can't come up with a perennial winner, I got a problem with that. Texas Southern is truly underachieving. Now, they're really good in basketball, good in baseball, should be better in track and field because they're in Texas, but their football should be a whole lot better than it is.
All right, let me get this other caller. Hold on just a second. What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me.
Hey, this is Gabriel again. I've been kind of like listening to y'all. Mr. Ford, how you doing tonight?
A lot been said tonight.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. Hey, I was just looking up University of Louisiana Monroe, and they're in FBS, but they're lower, and they spent just over $5 million last year. So
they made or they spent? What was their budget?
It was $5 million.
Wait a minute. The budget was $5 million and they in FBS?
Yep. But it's
you gotta be kidding.
They're not in that high epsilon though neither. You know?
I was thinking they had to have $5 million. That sounds like Division II money.
Wait a minute, hold on. Let me look at it one more time.
Yeah. Because I know that they call now the schools in the Sun Belt, they do call ULM the ghetto of the Sun Belt. Now they do say that.
Right. Hold on. Let me look at it one more time. I don't want to make myself out of lie here.
Yeah. What's their budget?
Okay, hold on. Now you were right, Mr. Ford. It was $252,816 in total revenue and total expenses.
They're supposed to be the poorest school in the Sun Belt as far as athletics. They spend the least amount.
Right. So if Jackson State was to move up to that,
they made $5 million. They made $5 million. That's probably what you was.
They made $5 million. Exactly. Right. That's what they made. Right.
They made $5 million. Okay.
So if Jackson State was to move up to that, then Jackson State would have to make at least another $6 million. At least.
Okay. So,
yeah.
I think that could be done.
And then another thing I was thinking too, we all were thinking the reason why these schools want to move up to a higher division, like I said, number one, it would help them make a little bit more money, and number two, it would most definitely help them get their players into the, help for pro leagues like the NFL and the NBA to look, take them a little bit more seriously and look at them a little bit closer.
And when you get more NFL and NBA players.
What's your thoughts on the NFL model? What's your thoughts about Jackson State playing Southern twice a year, Jackson State playing Alcorn twice a year? What's your thoughts on that?
I don't have a problem with it. But see, look, it's like this right here.
We need an HBCU stem.
Because you have the SWAC East and the SWAC West, right? So you split it up, like you say. Right now the SWAC has 12 teams. So that means you got 6 teams in SWAC East, 6 teams in SWAC West. So that means the teams, like I said, the teams in each other twice in their own division. That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Hold on.
We can't move up until we start winning games. See, I don't know why people think that.
Wait a minute. Hold on. In order for that to work,
reach out to VP Harris.
Shoot, two games apiece. That's 12 games. That's 12 games. 2, 4, 6, 8.
Well, let me ask you this: now you a Jackson State fan? Who you're a fan of? Who?
Y'all clowning in these
Jackson
comments.
State. Yeah, that's where I went to. Yeah.
Okay, you went to Jackson State?
Yeah.
Okay, give me 3 teams that Jackson State should play twice.
Okay, now 3 teams. Okay, now I agree with you.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the vicinity, like you say,
give me 3 teams that Jackson State should play twice. Give them to me.
Okay. Now I'm just saying, in locale, in the vicinity, like you say, it'll have to be like Alcorn.
Alcorn.
Valley.
Okay.
Yeah, Alcorn Valley. Probably Southern, because that's closest.
Thank you. I like it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like it.
But anyway,
Miss Ford not letting up on their idea.
What's that?
No, I'm reading the comment. Go ahead, finish your point.
Okay. And then earlier, we were saying about Coach Prime trying to get them, to a like I say, FBS or a high FCS, not SWAC. But I agree with you. They got in like the Sun Belt. Hell, I'll even say the US, Conference USA, something like that. I think they still could compete and win.
Right.
But everybody wouldn't be able to go with us. Maybe FAMU or either a Southern, something like that.
Well, let me ask you this now. Okay, Jackson State.
Hold on, Mr. Ford. Mr. Ford, hold on a second. Let me say this real quick. So when you had said that the benefit of moving up to FBS is to make more money because they have a bigger payout. Those conferences usually have a bigger payout. That's right. The reason why these schools don't even want to go up anyway. And then if you're getting more people drafted into the NBA and the NFL, there's gonna be somebody that makes more money being an alumni of your school, and so they can put that money back into the program. Like when you see
Right.
those, when you go to Alabama, you go to Clemson, you go to all these LSU, you go to all these places, you will see a name on top of that locker room. NFL
Right.
player has paid for that locker room. They just not
Right.
that the state isn't building that stuff. They have NFL players putting their money up, building them new locker rooms and stuff like that. So we get more
Right.
professionals coming out of the SWAC, we can get that money back.
Right. Because the state of Mississippi. As a matter of fact, Jackson right now is having problems. You know, we're trying to come up with a solution for Jackson State to have a new, you know, a new stadium. You know, because from what I understand, the University of Mississippi Hospital wants to turn that land into a parking lot. You know,
well, research
so
facility.
my thing is, huh?
They want to make it a research facility. It's already a parking lot.
Yeah.
The people that work there already parking.
Can I ask you this question? Let me ask you this question. Cole, I want to ask you this question. Okay, now we said that Jackson spent $9.7 million this past school year on sports. Now you saying Conference USA, that's Southern Mississippi. Southern Mississippi spends $30 million on sports. So how does Jackson State make up that $21 million that would have them to have an equal budget with Southern Mississippi? Because right now they're like $21 million behind Southern Mississippi. How do you make that up? How do you raise that kind of money?
Okay, I tell you how you do that. It's like this right here. Okay, now they made the first step by hiring Coach Prime. So Coach Prime got to pull some of his buddies in, get some of these like Spike Buzz said, get some of these big time business folks in to cash in on it. You know, cause like you say, look at some of these NFL stadiums. What's that? AT&T Stadium. You feel what I'm saying? You know, so they would have to get. Let me see.
I know what they got to do, but y'all ain't gonna like
Nissan plant, like the Nissan plant, right? They got to get Nissan in on it. You know, maybe be like Nissan Stadium. You feel what I'm saying?
I know what they got to do, but y'all not gonna like it. What they got to do is the same thing USM doing. They got to charge similar prices, and like USM do. When you trying to move up to that level, you're gonna have to start. You're gonna have to be one of those schools that cost that level. You know, so that's where the money gonna come from. But I mean, I know a lot of people don't want to hear that because you know you don't want to price your students out.
Hey,
but if you're going up, you're gonna have to pay.
I went to Alabama game years ago. Man, those tickets, whew, I'm talking damn near up in the nosebleed, like $100 per ticket.
Yeah.
So
I don't think something that drastic, but I'm saying like if
I get what you're saying.
If they move
as an example, but I get what you're saying. Yeah.
If they move up, tuition is gonna go up. It's not gonna stay the same.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's not gonna stay the same. James Madison, I bet you their tuition is going up. I bet you their tuition is not gonna stay the same when they go into the Sun Belt.
Well, my last question for you, caller. What's your thoughts on the commissioner? Is he doing a great job? Do you want him to improve, or is he failing? How do you see it? And explain your thoughts.
Okay. Now the commissioner.
Dr. McClellan. What's your thoughts? Is he doing great? Is he need improvement, or is he pitiful? And explain to us what.
He need improvement. You know, he need improvement because.
And tell us where does he need improvement?
Okay, from what I understand, with the HBCU, the streaming services, you know, I mean, I know that I think Grambling has a deal with them, and he's trying to say that you know none of the teams can do anything without his permission, which is a lie. That's a lie. And then number two, okay. When it comes to, I guess, promotion and especially when it comes to making deals with with
Mm-hmm.
with what's the name of that
Come on, y'all. Let's get it to 150. We got 81 people in here. Let's get it to 150. Go ahead and finish your point, sir.
Okay. The classic up here in Memphis. The Southern Heritage Classic. Try to get out of it, and that was a really big fiasco. All I'm saying is this right here. If he don't know exactly what it is that he's doing, then he need to get somebody around him that can do it for him.
Okay. So he needs some help. He needs some help.
Yeah, he needs some help. And then he said he has a plan to move the whole SWAC up within the next few years. He need to reveal that plan and just let us know what's going on. Just be a little bit more forthcoming with it.
Appreciate y'all.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for the call.
Okay. Have a good night, Him.
You too, man. All right.
All right. We talked about a lot tonight. We covered a lot tonight. Y'all got me exhausted. But Mr. Ford, what you think? Mr. Ford is not letting go of that NFL model. Y'all gonna hear him.
Thing for us.
But
if everybody's saying that we need to save money, I think the NFL model is the best way. And I think one of your callers said it. Yes, it would have to be changed again. It would be Alabama State, Alabama A&M, South Carolina State, Bethune-Cookman, FAMU. That would be a division. Yeah. Another division would be Jackson State, Mississippi Valley, Alcorn, Southern, Grambling. But the only thing is, we got to bring in them Texas schools. I got to see what. But I'm that's why I was trying to ask him what would be the best 3 or 4 schools that Jackson State would play twice a year. That's what I want somebody to tell me. What are the best schools that does Jackson State need to play Southern twice a year? Do they need to play Valley twice a year? Do they need to play Alcorn twice a year? Or do they need to play Grambling twice a year? Somebody needs to tell me that.
I mean, that would be the most logical. That would be most logical sense because of where they, where the schools are located. But I want to answer your question about the commissioner. I think he's doing I think he's doing a great job. I like him.
I do too. I like Dr. McClellan.
I think he's doing a great job. And all this what we're talking about on this show tonight, y'all. We're all speculating because we don't know what kind of money the SWAC. We don't know what kind of money the SWAC is working with. We don't know what kind of plan the commissioner has in place. He probably done thought of all this. He probably listened to us like, oh Lord. He probably listened to us like they don't even know what I got planned. I already thought of all that. I already got that worked out. He probably get listening, just thinking that we sounding crazy tonight. But anyway, we don't know what they got. We know that he has this stuff planned out. And he's a very smart man, so he's no dummy. So I have faith that he knows what to do.
I do want to say this. I do believe that if I would love to see the SWAC, the MEAC, the CIAA, and the SIAC come under Dr. McClellan. Because I'm going to say this and I'm going to get ready to go to bed. If we don't step in and save the MEAC, they going off the cliff. Because, listen, the MEAC, administrative-wise, from that commission on down, it's the blind leading the blind. Listen, y'all have a good night, okay?
Thank you, Mr. Ford.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right. Woo. Yeah, y'all, it was a good show tonight. We was all over the place tonight, but we had some good conversations. That's what I like. We had some very good conversations, man, but we was all over the place tonight. Hopefully that y'all had a good time listening to the show. Like I said, I think with the commissioner, I think he has an ambitious plan, and I think he's going to be good. I think he's going to be good for the SWAC, and I think he knows what he's doing. I trust him. I trust Dr. McClellan. I trust him, and I know that he's probably going to do what's right for the SWAC. And like I said, he probably already got all this worked out. You know, I'm pretty sure if he was listening to this show, he'd probably be like, yeah, I already thought of that. Yeah, we already got that situated. Yeah, we already know how we going to do that. So they have a plan, and we just have to see what that plan is. Avis talking crazy. But yeah, y'all, appreciate y'all tuning into the show. Like I said, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate y'all getting me to 150 likes tonight. Appreciate y'all for that. But yeah, man, I'll be doing more videos later on in the week. And I'll probably do another live at some point. Y'all enjoy y'all holiday. I know a lot of y'all work tomorrow, so relax, spend time with the family. I appreciate y'all tuning in, and I'm gone. And I'll see you guys on the next one. All right.